April 27th, 2011 changed how many Alabamians react to the threat of severe weather. 62 tornadoes ripped across the state that day. Many survivors are still trying to cope with the loss of friends and family who died in that storm.
The small town of Phil Campbell in Franklin County lost more than 24 people when an EF5 tornado shattered lives and property there almost a decade ago. In tornadoes like this, seconds can mean life or death, and that's why WAAY 31 has been working hard to bring you our new Storm Tracker early warning radar network.
WAAY 31's Breken Terry spoke with families in Phil Campbell about how that day changed their lives and how we hope we can be part of helping alert all of North Alabama when the threat happens again.
It was like you had took a broom and swept it off.
This is Judy Evett. She's alive today because she took shelter in this room of her home. But the loss she suffered that day is almost unimaginable. The tornado took Judy's mother, Lucille Nix, and her sister, Martha Pace. The tornado killed her daughter, Patricia Gentry, who was a teacher just like her mom. Patricia's husband, Don, Judy's son-in-law, also died that day. This is Wyatt Drive, where Judy Evett and her entire family lived. She told me it was just too painful for her to build back after the storm.
David said, Mom, said, don't look back. And it was wires everywhere, you know, from the lines and everything. He said, because I got out of that house all I'll ever need. Don't worry, that's just stuff.
Talking about the loss is still painful. While we were talking about that horrible day, I told her about another neighbor I had spoken to. Judy's eyes filled with tears as she explained what that neighbor did for her family.
Heather called me. That's my granddaughter. She said, Nanny, said, they want me to identify my mother. Said, I can't do it. And she's crying, and I thought, oh, I can't do this, but I will for her. So I told Steve about it, and he said, Judy, don't worry. Said, I'll go up there. Said, I'm one to help them. Said, I help search for them. And said, I'll go up there and identify her. Y'all, if I had to identify her like that, it was closed casket. It would have made it so much worse.
That neighbor named Steve is Steve Bell. Today, he's the mayor of Phil Campbell. He helped others that horrible day, even while dealing with losses of his own.
Back then even, we got warnings, but it was so broad.
Bell looks at a memorial of those his town lost on April 27th. This was his house before the tornado and after, with the second story of his home missing. So were some of his neighbors.
I had 4 neighbors within about 150 yards of my house that we lost. So we went from survival to recovery just immediately, almost.
Evett said the tornado took her family from her, but it never took her faith. And she hangs on to those good memories.
Sometimes in life, you play the thankful game. You thank the good Lord that you had the time with them that you had.
Evett said she's happy to know the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker early warning radar network will be watching over places like Phil Campbell. She knows how precious early alerts about storms can be and hopes it will save other families from the pain she and her family have suffered.
I'm very thankful that we're going to be able to just, like I say, have more of a warning when it's going to come, and timing is important, knowing where to go to.
In Phil Campbell, Breken Terry, WAAY 31 News.
Well, I was also there that day and had the privilege of listening to Judy Evett's story. One of the big takeaways for me was just how hopeful and optimistic Judy seemed to be about the future, about this new technology coming to North Alabama. Tomorrow, you'll hear more from Judy and me about what the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network will mean for the Shoals and all of North Alabama.